beautiful people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchi, and on this channel I talk about cake business. I also do tutorials, vlogs, I do story time, personal development and other things as well, and you're welcome. If you're stopping by for the first time, you're most welcome to the channel, and if you're an OG, nice to have you here again. So I'll be showing you a clip or a video on how to start a two-tiered cake. Now, I had a class not too long ago, a training with one of my students from Benin, Nigeria, and I'll be putting you through what we did in that class so as to show you how to stack and to dowel a two-tiered cake. But before that, I'm just going to do a brief intro, show you the things that I'll be using that we'll need to start a two-tiered cake, and also how to go about it basically. So please ignore the noise of my work today, okay? Ignore the noise. Okay, so I'll be showing you the things that you would need, the things that I use, and also explaining a bit before I show you the clip. So please stick around, I'll be right back. So I'm going to be showing you the things that I use when it comes to doweling cakes. Okay, so depending on whether it is single tier, double tier, or 3-tier, or 4, depending, I use different kinds of dowel. So I have this wooden dowel that I use. This is a wooden dowel, I think it's the Wilton brand. So I use this. As you can see, it's wooden, hard, but not so hard, but it's wooden. And then I have this. Also, this is a plastic dowel. It's kind of flexible to some extent. You can see that I can bend it. And then I have one that is thicker that you cannot bend so easily. Look at that. I can't bend it so easily, but it's also, they are both plastic. One is thicker than the other one. So the thickness is different. One is thicker than the other. Can you see that? Oops. So this is it. And then I have this that I use for central doweling. So this is a thicker central dowel. I use it for my central doweling. So it's called a PVC pipe. You can get it from a hardware store. It's really hard, and that is what I use. I also have a plier that I use, and I also have this plywood. It's called the plywood. Can you hear the sound? So it's kind of flexible. It's flexible as well. And that's what I use for doweling. So I thought to explain this thing before I get into the video so we have a good understanding. Now I'm going to flip the camera and just explain something briefly before I show you the video. So this is a 10-inch and a 6-inch pan. This is a 10 and then this is a 6. So the cake I'll be showing you has a 10 with a 6 going on it. So what we'll do is to place the 6 on the plywood. Okay, place it on the plywood. You can also use a cake board and then trace the size of the 6. But after tracing, you want to trim it slightly. Why are you going to trim it slightly? So that it doesn't show when you place it on your cake. It doesn't peek out through the bottom like so. So you can you will trace 6 and then trim it slightly to be around like maybe 5.8, I beg your pardon, not 5.5. So like 5.8, so that it doesn't peek through. All right, now these are the dowels once again. So you can use this, but I prefer to use the plastic ones like this, and also the thicker one like this if I have like 3 tiers and all of that for taller cakes. Okay, and then this as my central dowel to go in through the center of the cake. So let's get right into the video. Now these are the fondant details for the cake. I just wanted to show you. I asked my student if I could do a video of this process and she was okay with this. Okay, so this is the 10-inch cake, and then we have ruffles design going on, and we also have the 6-inch with the Ankara design. So these are the dowels that we've cut. The central dowel that we're going to be using has been washed, properly washed. There's a tape we used to measure the height of the cake, the cling film, and the plywood that we've cut with a hole in the middle for our central dowel to pass through. Okay, so you need to make a hole in the middle. It doesn't come like this. Okay, and then we also have our craft knife to trace with, and we have real icing as well. So we start by placing our plywood on the cake and then tracing out the circle. Why? Because we're going to have our dowel rods within the circle, not outside. So we're going to have it within the circle. Make sure you trace well enough so that you can see the mark on the fondant. The fondant is already dry, so by the time we lift up the plywood, you're going to see the mark that we've made. Okay, now we're just going to wrap this up. It's either you use a cling film or you use a foil paper, but personally I love this because it's very light and doesn't give any extra weight to the plywood. But we cut it small here. Sorry, I was distracted. And we should have just doubled the wrap before cutting. Okay, so we're trying to stretch and stretch, and it just wasn't working. Okay, so my students asked for us to use foil, which we're doing now, and it's still okay. If you decide you want to use a foil paper, it is still okay. I just don't like it because it makes it bulky at the end of the day. We're trying to make a hole in the middle at the moment so that the dowel rod can pass through, and then we're also going to cover that part that is exposed so that everywhere is just covered and neat. Okay, so we're gonna do that and then go ahead to place our dowel rods in the cake. You place it within the circle like I said, so there's no hard and fast rule to this. This is just my own style. First, your dowel has to be flush with the cake. Pardon the ones that are sinking in. And I also want to mention that you should pardon the quality of this video, but it's been highly requested for. I wanted to have a class on this, but that was at the time I lost access to my Instagram page, so I couldn't hold the class anymore. So this opportunity came and I didn't want it to slip by again, so that's why I'm bringing it to you. All right, so let's go right ahead. Put in the dowel rods, and when I'm done with that, I will still put another set in, further in. How do I explain it? Like so, okay, but avoiding the middle. I'm not going to get to the middle or the center of my cake because my dowel rod is going to go right there. Okay, so in between the two, you put another one. That is what we're trying to do. So if you're going to ask me, how many can we use, ma? I really don't know. I just work I just work freestyle. Okay, so I don't have any particular number and I don't count. I just use until I'm satisfied. The next thing is to spread our royal icing within the circle as well, so that it will serve as what do you call it now? It's gonna stick the plywood. It's gonna keep the plywood in place. Okay, so that's just it. Okay, so spread your royal icing to keep the plywood in place. After washing the central dowel in and out, we will then wrap it with a cling film. I'm going to show you how we wrap it just this way, but I also like to seal both ends so that it doesn't have any contact whatsoever with the cake. Okay, so you wrap it up like that and then we'll cover it like so. So this is how it is. We'll cover it and block it so it doesn't have any contact with the cake at all. Now you're going to drive it in the center, so push it in like so, and then we'll go to the next stage. Next up, I apply royal icing again that is going to hold the cake in place. So apply all around before we place the cake. Now structure is something that I know a lot of bakers struggle with, and that's why I'm bringing this video to you so that you will learn, and I hope that you find value from it. Please like this video if you've learned something new. If you found this helpful, please like this video, watch the ads, subscribe to my channel, drop me a kind comment, and share with those in your caking communities. Okay, so now we are done with that. We're just going to place the cake right on top of it and you are good to go. So this is how I dowel a 2-tiered cake. With this, you have nothing to worry about. You do not have anything to worry about. So that's the cake, beautifully done, stacked, doweled, and the structure is just right. Please go ahead and practice this. Tag me in your stories, tag me on your posts on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. Okay, please, I would love to see them. If you also have comments, please drop them and I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. Okay, until I see you in the next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed.